Winnie, let's do it. Okay, so we'll start with background. I have 900 hours on Steam, but that's spread over the last 12 years. Very spread out, and never seriously, so mainly casual / arms race. I've only spent about 100 hours in CS2 Premier Competitive Face It, plus a few with refrag and grenade training. Cool. Because CS2 has tempted me enough to see how far I can get with rarely more than 6 to 8 hours of playtime per week. That is tough. In other words, I generally know the maps pretty well. I'm slowly getting into the competitive timings of the new maps, and I know that I should generally work on my aim and finally put the damn grenades on mouse buttons. Yes. Mouse sense 800 DPI, 0.8 in game. That's mine. Nice. On T-Side, I think I mainly have a problem with peeking / attacking into the unknown, and because I play practically 90 to 100% solo queue, let's go, communication is usually the main problem, because I have to solely rely on my game sense, where and when to expect enemies, right? On top of that, when there's a lack of communication, I often run around erratic because I'm constantly trying to take the supporting role when I think there is a gap in our approach. Okay, maybe we're focusing a bit too much on what our team is doing and try to fill roles, and we'll see. Thank you for taking the time. I'm super excited to get some new insights into what I should be working on. Okay, let's go, Winnie. So we're watching two T-halves, both T-sides. So no CT. So let's jump into it. So we'll start with the Vertigo one. This is where we said that there was good communication, which is nice. I love your combo. Huntsman Marble Fade, I'll always have such a soft spot for. I had that knife for a long time and I absolutely loved it. So the buy here, the flash nade, I would prefer a smoke here. I think a smoke will bring you a lot more value on T-side Vertigo than a nade. A big thing with T-side now is just getting the bomb down, right? Winning the round is kind of like an extra yippee we won the round, but just getting the bomb down then allows you to force that second round, and often you're going to have a better buy than the CTs. So having a smoke really helps enable you to get that bomb down quick, right? You can just smoke site, run into smoke, plant if you want to. We're going to come up ramp, flash above sandbags. I like it. Boom, he is full blind. Oh, yeah, be ready for that fight. We can already see Winnie, the scroll wheel coming out, right? Already twice you're whipping the bomb out when you don't want it out. And so immediately, like, that's maybe the biggest thing you can do to give you instant improvement, right? Like, just for like 30 minutes, bind your grenades, and then 30 minutes jump into a workshop map, or not a workshop map, but a practice map, you know, just an empty map with Util, and just run around and throw Util and just practice those binds. I think that's the fastest, best thing you could do immediately to get like instant improvement, right? Nice nade though. That was beautiful. So it seems like your Util, just like when you're ripping it off the cuff, is very clean, and you have already a good sense of when to throw it, because that nade is perfect. This is where your buddy's fighting. You should just immediately swing. Immediately make this a 2v1, right? Don't let this guy take this 1v1 for so long. Make it a 2v1 as fast as you can. But he wins it. What is going on? That CT was trying to knife him, and then last is AFK. You guys had an AFK too. A 4v4 pistol round. Oh, he that is so unlucky. Right as your teammate came up to knife, he DCs. All right, nice. That was sweet. I like that round. Buy up Util. No flash, but we have Molly, Smoke, Nade. Hopefully your teammates buy flashes as well. I like the Galil and Util buy. A lot of people, when you're solo queuing, a lot of people are just going to send the AKs. So it could be good to get that Util for your team. Okay, we're going to have to skip through this. Okay, sweet, it's back. Okay, out of spawn. Seems like we're calling a B rush, perhaps. Send the flash. I like bouncing it against that left portion of that. So default molly. Okay, obviously chaotic eco round. Default molly I don't mind. Somebody could definitely be hiding behind default. We run up. So far it looks like one thing that we could definitely focus on is the crosshair placement as you're taking and navigating space, right? So as you're moving up through this space, your next option for a fight would be CT. So you want your crosshair honed in on CT as you're running up and navigating this area. Wait, when that demos have been doing this where I'll skip through a round and then it'll just put me like halfway through the next round, and I don't know why. I'm gonna turn game volume down just a little bit. Hopefully, let's turn it down a bit more. Okay. This flash, bank it off of the... I'll back it up a bit. Bank it off of this side of this wall, so then it pops closer to you, right? Because if you just send it through, it's most likely gonna go through this window, and then it's gonna pop back here. And that's not gonna blind somebody who's holding close like this. That's the angle you have to worry about, right? As you're scaling through mid, somebody behind the box holding this angle. So if you bank it off of here, it drops and bounces, and then it's more likely to blind them. The Negev. I like that you held the spray. I would say don't start spraying until you swing this first guy, right? So first guy, swing, counter strafe, spray. But the spray into the second guy is really nice. Okay, so we got a lot of picks mid and B. Yeah, now we know he's... Pause here. How do we win this round? We know the last is elevator. We got one guy coming up B, and you're mid. You can go towards plat and give this guy a 1v1, or you can just take the time, go down ladder, run around towards B. This guy can scale up. He can play back gen, or he can come up, play an aggressive angle or something. This guy can just ensure that the CT doesn't get towards site and can deny bomb plant. And then once you plant, now you have a 2v1, right? So if you swing here, you give this guy a 1v1, and then if he wins it, he has another 1v1 with 8. Try to smoke CT. The patience could definitely pay off. Oh, spooky. Spooky, spooky. So as you're going out mid here, have your gun out. Right? You don't, like, having the speed of the knife isn't worth not having your gun out here. Does he clear elevator? Okay, he's not there, but what if he's playing an off angle and he's holding plat, you know? Or what if he just hits the timing and he just walks out as you're scaling up? So as you're scaling through here, crosshair placement on elevator with your gun out, and then once you get to plat, gun out still, holding towards CT. But you did have your gun out for a good portion of that. Just once you went to plat. Okay, that's fair. Nice. They're out, just play it safe. Go ladder, run to B with bomb. Play the 2v1. Going A again. Nice flash. I'd say if you're going ramp and you're deciding what to do, this feels like one of those moments where it's like, what is my team doing? Oh, we only have one going up short. I should go up short and trade him, even though I'm going up ramp, you know? Like you said in your message, you're trying to fill the gaps. But you're putting yourself in a very susceptible, in a very tricky position where somebody can peek crane and they can see you on short and be isolated from the ramp guys, right? If somebody peeks a hard angle on crane from here to short, they're not exposed to ramp. And so going towards short this late just makes you so susceptible to that peek. So in my mind, if you want to go short, you know, throw this flash, stay around here, hold the crane, shift walk over, hold the crane, be ready for this fight in case, and then go up short. Or go straight from the bridge into short. Very fast, right? Around the right side of the box, into short. Just so that you're not in this scary zone of, I went up ramp, oh shit, no, I want to go up short, now I'm jumping around, and I could get peeked, right? But I like the thinking to go short and trade your teammate. That's unlucky. Smoke right side with this. Yeah. There's, oh yeah, wait for the smoke to plume. There's a new thing in CS2 where people are throwing the smoke and they're playing one smoke behind sight and leaving headshot open. I prefer just standing still and left clicking the smoke against white, so then it covers headshot, because that's a super strong angle. And then just swinging this left side, the elevator angle, right? So smoke right here, swing left side, nobody there. Okay, now we can scale up. But if you run through it, then it can go and cover entire backside, but then you still have headshot covered. Send plant. Gotta get this crosshair placement up, right? Be ready to get a headshot. So we're here in flank. Nice. Now this is risky. Okay, so we come back, we get this kill flank, but then you're just running out straight towards site. You have bomb down, default. They have to defuse it, right? Play ramp. Ramp is one of the best after plant spots and maybe the entire game. Just stay ramp. Force them to come and swing you, and you can play like a rat. And this guy, you have a guy elevator anyways, is flanking, and so he can get this kill just fine. And so maybe you can like come ramp and bait and just spam towards nothing just to attract this guy's attention. But let this guy get this kill. And you stay alive, because God forbid, like, this guy dies and then you come up. I don't know. But you get the kill. Nice kill. Grab that AK. Yeah. Nice guy saving. Okay. I'm gonna flash. Nice. Be ready for fights. So as you scale up, okay, we gotta get rid of this blind effect. As you run upstairs, you know, you're gonna expose yourself to white, back white, double, top double, maybe even quad if they're playing here, back behind double, playing this angle. So have your gun out, be ready for fights, and then once you feel comfortable that they're not gonna fight you, then you can throw your stuff. Especially because in this situation, it looks like we still have 2 mid. Well, I guess we want to go fast. We just got 2 kills, so that makes sense. But you don't want to come up here with the molly out and die, right? And you can throw a good default molly from right here, which I can show in the after thing. We know to be. Oh my god, we dropped bomb. Okay, never mind. Good thinking on the spam. And then the Negev flank. Calm down here. Okay, nice. Nice. So the sprays through smokes were really chaotic, but it seems like your spray is actually really solid when you're swinging and spraying people. So when you spray through smoke, just pretend like you're spraying, you know, visualize somebody here and just pretend like you're doing like a normal spray as if somebody's actually there. Because these sprays, you're moving around a lot. They're kind of going everywhere. So spray into the default spots, you know, you think one is white, hit a spray, 10 bullet spray towards white. Okay, nobody's here. Maybe you think one's behind wood right here. Hit a 5 to 10 bullet spray behind wood. You know, spray as if somebody is right there where you're spraying. And that'll enable you to get kills through smokes. Five-0, gonna take ramp. I like it. You're being very proactive, which is very good. The bomb. Okay, this is like almost every round, Winnie. You're missing out on kills because you take space and then you instantly whip out the Util, ready to do something, right? So take that space, gun out, make sure that you have control of it, right? So ensure that as you come up ramp, you have control of all of top ramp before you molly. You know, I assume you're going to molly sandbags here. So take the space, control the space, and then Util out, ready to do what you need to do, right? So we're gonna molly. I like the smoke towards heaven. Your team is unstoppable in this half. I feel like you haven't gotten into like play all too much. They're just getting kills fast. Okay, so one dies to op. Don't peek this. Now it's slow time. I didn't realize it was such slow time on the bomb. I actually don't really mind you taking that fight, to be honest, because there's, you know, only 10 seconds on bomb is very unlikely. This opper could kill you both and then defuse, so that was a good peek. Try to take away bomb. Did he just jump off the map? He did. All right. Unfortunate. Okay. I like the Util buy. You're buying a lot of Util. You're using your Util effectively. It just seems like too often you're going too quickly into your Util. Run up ramp, flash up ramp. You don't, like, wait, you don't need to molly sandbags yet. You know, gun out, you can swing sandbags, gun out, ready for a fight. And then, okay, nobody's home. Then you can backstep behind the sandbag, not be exposed to sandbags, and then molly over this thing, right? All you have to do is just left click, aim at the top of this. So clear it with gun out first, control the space, and then you can molly it out. Get a pick towards short. But then once you have this molly down, you're not ready for a fight here. So then what's the point of mollying sandbags, right? So we molly sandbags, gun out, but then our crosshair is super low and we're not ready for this fight. So after you molly sandbags, you can stay where you are, or you could swing out, throw a little movement into it, but always AD, right? Be ready to counter strafe. But be ready for this, because if somebody's here and they swing out, you're not aiming at them, right? And you're moving diagonally, which is always hard to take a fight when you're moving diagonally. Smoke towards backside. Sweet, one elevator. Oh, we're on ahead. I like this. Crosshair placement always, right? It's lots of times like when you're holding stuff or when you're swinging stuff, your crosshair placement looks pretty good. But then it's when you're navigating space. When you're going down ramp, you're holding your crosshair on this towards this right side or kind of out in the open. You know, where is the next spot that I'm most likely going to take a fight? Always, always, always. That question on repeat in your head. And here, it's probably back here. They could definitely shift walk up here like this guy is, but I would say majority of the time, they're going to peek from behind boxes. Okay, this is good. Hear him running. Why not chase? You have a bajillion dollars. Try to go chase him down. Take his gun. Oh no. Is that your first death? I think it was. Oh no. Yeah, it was. It was just bomb. Alright. Flash through mid. Again, bank it off so then it pops in front of them. They're gonna swing mid. When you swing this angle, crosshair up. So even as you're blind, it'd be good to just get closer to this angle so that you're more ready to trade these guys out, right? So you get blinded and then you stay towards the back of mid. But here, as these guys are swinging, Once you're not blind, now you have a lot of space to cover to come trade them. But if while you're blind, you could just run into this wall and scale up towards this corner, then once you're not blind, you can instantly swing and be ready for a trade. So let's look at the crosshair placement. They swing out. It seems like you have somewhat of a tendency to curve angles, right? Turn them in like a semicircle with WD or with your crosshair where you're turning them sideways. And that is a slower kind of peak, right? Because you're throwing diagonal movement into it, so then you don't have that full speed of going horizontal across somebody's screen. So as you scale up through mid, pause here and then crosshair through the wall, right? You know this fight is behind this box right here. You know where this fight is. So crosshair through the wall and then just hold D here. So then you're going fast, you're going horizontally, and you're fully ready to counter strafe and take this fight. Nice spray. Your spray looks really solid, dude. For 900 hours of gameplay over 12 years it was, it's very impressive. Okay, so we have one elevator. You hear him. Nice. So you're constantly having to flick up. That's one big thing. It's just your crosshair placement is just too low. That, like we talked about before. And it's not like an easy fix, but it's one of the easier fixes where once you're cognizant of it and like every game, you just have to drill it. You just have to drill it into your mind. I'm going to keep my crosshair placement higher, and I'm constantly going to visualize where their head is going to be if they're there, right? So like it's a combination of always expecting somebody to be there and always thinking about if they are there, where is their head going to be? So as we clear this space, see, where could they be? They could be back white, so crosshair here, or maybe they could be quad, or maybe behind double. So we're worried about all this space, but it's best to commit to what you think is most likely, right? If you have your crosshair in kind of no man's land here, if they're one of these three spots, you're going to have to flick onto all three, right? And this is what you talked about in the description that you sent me, was taking space and not knowing where CTs are, clearing space where there's a lot of unknowns. And it's tricky and it's hard for a lot of people. It's very understandable. And the best thing you can do is commit to what you think is most likely, right? So if I'm scaling up through plat in this area, I would say what's most likely is that he's behind white. So as I'm scaling up, I might change the way I play to accommodate that. So I might go around right side of Gen, right? That way I can clear kind of back quad a little bit, clear towards default. And then as I scale up, I have a better fight towards white because I don't have to hold W towards it. I can hold D and go this way at that angle, right? And take a fight towards white, be ready to counter strafe. But when we're faced with the unknown and we're thinking about every possible thing and we don't commit to anything, then we're not ready for anything, right? So if our crosshair is low and it's not trained in on what we think is most likely, if he's anywhere, we have to flick. That makes the fights harder. So now we spot him. Nice. I don't know why he turned around and looked at stairs. Did he think two were alive? But that was a great swing. Let's look at that again. So I like the patience here, right? Maybe it could be good to keep your crosshair on the edges just so that you're ready if he does swing, but you would hear it and you could react to it if he does swing. But after enough time passes, he could have shift walked up, right? But now you're ready. But the crouch peek, dude, excellent. That looked really good. That was stellar. Nice. Going mid again. We're a little stuck. So we get a pick, another dies. Now it's time to get out of here. Right? Did we spot 2 names towards mid? So this guy dies, so maze, right? We know 1 towards elevator. This guy dies maze again. Okay. But at this point, with how much noise we're making, right? They get 2 kills. We still have a... You're throwing Util. They're gonna have 2 towards mid. That's the problem with Vertigo mid, is that it's so easy to rotate to mid, right? If they're playing 2B, one of these guys can be plat in a jiffy. Or if they're playing 2 towards A and 1 mid, one of these A guys can be elevator in no time, right? So the as these kind of mid pushes get a little drawn out and a little sloppy like this, where we're peeking 1 by 1, we should expect that there's 2 towards mid holding this, and that's not a good fight to take. That's tough. And especially now, hopefully this guy here, number 8, should be saying, I'm out on A. So you two, I hope, are going to book it to ladder and just go A. Because that's how you win this round. Get that pick. Okay, he hits a nice flank on them. I respect that. Now we just got to commit A. So even just for practice, as you're navigating, I clicked off the screen. As you're navigating through the space mid, so we kill him, right? Not sure what to do with the util. As you run through here, gun out, crosshair placement on plat, right? And then once you scale up through here, gun out, crosshair placement on CT. This guy certainly could have rotated through and been here by now, ready for a fight. And this guy wouldn't know because he's smoked off. He can't see it. So you might have a fight CT here. But even if it's unlikely, just be ready for it, right? You might as well. You don't stand to gain all too much. The speed difference between your gun out and your knife out, it's not as beneficial as just having your gun out and be ready for this fight. Plant open, go ramp, I like it. A smoke ramp. Cool. Okay, nice. Chop, chop. All right, A rush. Send it. Flash up ramp. You already mollied, no need. You guys are going fast. We need that crosshair up, right? Your next fights are going to be headshot or heaven. And so this crosshair needs to be even higher than head level. It needs to be ready for these 2 locations. Always, where's my next fight? Where could they possibly peek me from? And where is most likely? And so now you're running back and you're holding ramp. But I think as you're scaling back this way, you should still be looking towards heaven or towards headshot. Because that's what's most likely, right? There could be a flank top ramp, it's possible, but it's much more likely that the CTs have already just rotated heaven, and this opper is going to kill you. There it is. And part of that is just the game sense. You've only played competitive Premier Face It for 100 hours. And so those calculations of what is more likely, right, that I'm doing, a lot of it is just built on time of how much I've played the competitive side of CS, right? But you can, I would implore you definitely think about that a lot, because that's a lot of what CS is, especially in solo queue, is trying to guess what the enemies are going to do by thinking about how likely it is, right? All right, we're still undefeated. Gonna full buy, go towards A again. You have best spawn, so I'd like to see you drop bomb here, flash up ramp, and then just swing it with your gun out. Oh, there, a little team killing action. Nice. We're never ready for this fight. The sandbags, like we molly it, and then everybody just runs past it. I don't know. They haven't played it once, but in general, like, we should be ready for that. If there is one sandbags, what's the point of mollying it if we're all just going to turn our back from it? They hear him run up short. Nice wall bang. Very clean. So for only 100 hours of, you know, competitive Premiere, like the mechanics actually look really good, Winnie. The sprays look really solid. If anything, it's the crosshair placement. I think once you really hone in and focus on your crosshair placement and think about it really critically, right? Every game, like make it your priority. You'll be in a great place. Like here, 2 people die from heaven, but then you swing out with your crosshair really low. Right? So if you swing out, crosshair up, trained at heaven. Hopefully they told you he was heaven, but it's possible they didn't. I'm gonna reload. Now we're in a 2v3. It'd be nice to get a 1v1 fight here. There it is. Nice. Good swing. Okay. Let's watch that again. Nice. I don't mind how you play that. You know, another option too is just drop the smoke next to you and just play around the smoke. Try to stay alive and just play around the smoke. But I probably would have played that in a similar way, to be honest. We lost 1 round. Okay, let's jump over to the second demo. Okay, let's do game 2. That Vertigo game was a little tricky in terms of giving feedback because you guys dominated. It was 11-1 half and it was 5v4 a lot of the time. So I think this one, I might have more to say because I assume this one will put you in some more challenging situations. When lots of times in that Vertigo game, you're following up with your team. You know, you guys made a ton of space and then it's just, you were unchallenged all too much. Oh, we got this wiggly nades in this one. Cool, so we're gonna smoke front bath. You have bomb here, and so you peek out, you show bomb to con guy. I think with this fast spawn, you know, your second guy out, just drop bomb to a teammate. I know in solo queue and stuff, it can be like, don't know if you want to trust teammates with bomb, whatever, but you know, you're going to flash up, you're going to throw the smoke, and you're going to take fights early, just drop bomb so then you can be comfortable doing this. Because after you peek this con guy, I'd like you to re-peek and take that fight, perhaps. Maybe you want to. But you can't really with bomb. You don't want to just drop bomb in the middle of mid and give the CTs that advantage, right? So having bomb here kind of cuffs you into not being able to be as aggressive as you'd like to be. So we spot him towards con. Your team scaling up long. Again, like here, I'm down with you entering, but not with bomb. I guess it's just one guy, but right now he has bomb. Now all the CTs are gonna flood over. And they're going to be comfortable holding long bath. When, if you drop bomb maybe in this corner or to a teammate, and then you guys peek them as 3, they don't know exactly where bomb is, and they can't be as comfortable rotating this fast. Oh, but the round skip works in this one. I like it. Okay, so we're just gonna full eco this one. Run it, B. So after this guy makes this contact, and you're not mollied or anything, you have a timing where you can scale up the left side of sight and just try to make as much space as possible, right? You have to get like a really advantageous, wacky fight in order to open this round up because you have no armor, you just have Glock. So you have to do something kind of silly. So once this guy takes his contact and you see then the smoke is coming out, just scale up through this left side. Because you might have a fight up here. You might catch somebody with a nade out. Who knows? Like, you could have gotten this kill on orange. But then running up here and taking this fight, this guy's expecting fights. He's ready for fights, right? So that makes it a difficult fight for you to win since he has MP9 and you have Glock. Eco rounds, you got to be a little silly. Do some kind of crazy stuff. Smoke default, beautiful. We're gonna flash over. Take short again. The molly, like, take control of this space and then molly. Right? You have no clue. Somebody could be back here, behind here. Somebody could have jumped up over here. Somebody could be holding over here, or he could be close like this, about to swing you. So take control of the space, gun out, be ready for fights, and then you can molly to prevent this rotate. That's happened a lot, right? So that's something that I think you really need to think about. Take the space, control the space, and then use your util once you have the space to further control that space, to clear out more things, to cut off rotates, etc. Because you're missing out on a lot of fights that you definitely can win by throwing your util too early. We're gonna send a flash towards B, make him worry about it a bit. I like it. I don't mind it. Nade out towards mid. Cool. I would have liked after this nade, because we didn't have anybody scale up through party, so the op could have been, still posted there. So we come up. That's weird, it says smoke. We nade. And then from here, I'd like you to go to the left and just jump across. With a lot of speed. Just, jump across. Just to get that info. You're not looking for a fight or anything. You just want info on if somebody's holding this. Because if you nade and then you do this and you hold W towards them, if somebody's party or somebody's bottom here, this is an easy kill for them, right? So jump across, just get the info if somebody's there. And then if you don't see anybody, then you can scale up. They throw an odd smoke mid. Nice, we get that kill. Yeah, I would wait. I would bait a little bit here. Because you're kind of the lurk. So the goal when you have a lot in con, right? You guys have 3 in con. And then you're the solo mid guy. This guy's kind of mid, but he's looking towards long. So you're essentially solo over here. So you have to wait and let these guys have impact, let them get this kill, come up through con, and then as they're doing that, that's when you activate and go out. That way, even if one of them dies, now you have 3 towards mid, and you can trade out this op. But if you go before they're able to do any action towards mid, then it's just this 1v1 against this op, and he's going to win that. Ops win 1v1s, right? You have to beat ops by trading them out with util, etc. I know we don't know that there's an op there, but even AK, whatever. Wait for the team and then go with them. Explode out this space. You have a molly too, so you can pause here and then molly towards divider. Because you have front bass smoked, a molly divider. That's pretty much the only place they can fight you. So after we swing out mid, you're smart. We're holding con. They could be top con, right? There could have been 2 in con. But once we realize that there's not 2 in con, that's when we have to train our focus on where's the next most likely place they're going to be. And it's going to be divider. Because we have this smoked off. That's all they can do to hold mid is play divider. So then we want to purposely peek divider, right? We need to be ready for this fight here. And I know you said this one is poor communication, and when you have a team that's like barely communicating, you're going to rely a lot on the mini-map. So there, you know, look at the mini-map, you see there a ton in con, let them get that kill, see if they're going to come out mid, and then if they are, then follow. Almost gets that pick. Nice trade. Okay, that's huge. That was a nice shot. So we get the pick towards con. I'm thinking go con here now. Take that space. Right? They saw a lot towards B, so if we just sit short, they kind of know that that's what we're doing. Gonna walk up. So with these angles, right? That's a hard on angle. We got to be ready for that fight. That's going to be a very common angle you face on Overpass. So with the pistol, you know, from here, you don't really want to take this fight. So as you're scaling up, reduce vulnerability, right? So you come up. From here, right, you can either jiggle it, you can do a jump strafe, try to bait a shot. You just want info if someone's there. So if you jiggle it and then he shoots his op shot, then you know you have time to scale up, right? He's got to do the bolt. If you get info that it's a rifle, then maybe it's better go with your teammate and just group up as two and try to trade him out super fast. Because holding W up here, if he's a rifle, then he just has a 1v1 against you, and then he has a 1v1 against your teammate. So be wary, think about, you know, where are they going to be? Where can they be holding me from? And we knew that there were a lot towards B because we made a lot of action B. This guy swung con. He saw a lot towards short. So we know there's going to be a lot towards B. What do CTs like to do on A when they're anchoring? They like to play dice and jump spot. And so behind this thing is going to be a very common fight that you're going to get when you have these rounds where it's a lot towards B and then you have an anchor A. And your crosshair placement was perfect there for a moment. Okay, that was a good jiggle in and out. I like that. Now we're going to chase him down. This is good. That's a bit of panic. It's understandable. Beep, 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 beep. Okay. Grenade mid. We hear one towards party. Molly front bath. Cool. The nades, man. It takes you way too long. You'd be so much crisper and sharper and faster, especially with your decision making, if you could just get exactly what you're thinking about. I want my smoke. Boom, here's my smoke, right? That's the number one top priority right now, Winnie. Number one. Where did that melee go? Was that divider? Okay. Oh, it just hit a weird bounce. I think that molly would have been good at con, right? Because here it seems like we're deciding, okay, we're going to go through A. We got a couple long, let's commit to A. So a molly into con just delays a flank by 8+ seconds. So that can be helpful, because this guy, number 2, can hit a timing where he comes up right now, right? I know you're trying to molly divider, which isn't a bad idea. But I think on those A commitment things, molly con can be really helpful. Okay, so let's watch this back. Taking these fights A can be really tricky. So this flash would be way better off popping above bathroom. So if you turn, look to the top left, and just left click it over the top of bathrooms, that way if they're back dice, it still blinds them because it's high, right? This one is going to pop behind this guy. Boom, right? He doesn't get blinded at all by it. And so when the flash pops over here, the only thing that could get blinded by it but is like somebody in bank perhaps, but we're not really worried about that fight right now. We're worried about dice and truck mostly. So pop that flash high and above you guys. So we get wall banged by the op. He repeaks it. Crosshair placement, right? Always, where's the next fight? It's very likely he's going to repeak that. So as you peek out, isolate angles, right? So you're coming out here, peeking this, crosshair placement on here. Okay, he just died. Now we're going to swing, crosshair placement on here as we expose ourselves to this portion of the site. Okay, good. That was just a little bit of panic, right? You're strafing kind of back and forth. You win that if you just plant your feet and just spray. Your spray is really solid, Winnie. So if you just stop and just spray into him, you win that much easier. Because that got a little scary there, a little iffy. All right, nice. So we're going to sun plant, smoke the flank, hold bank. Green is going crazy. Nice. Let's go. No one towards con. You have a tendency to molly people, right? You want to get your util out and deny people space and stuff with your util, but lots of times you're just doing it too early again. Like that molly, you should have your gun out, be ready for a fight if in case they're top con, and if they're not, then molly, right? Reduce your vulnerability, be ready for fights, and then once you feel comfortable, then the util comes out. So we get 2 picks towards A. And we killed 1 con. This is where going con is a really good idea, right? We get 2 early kills. Now they have no info on mid at all. They're probably going to panic rotate up because we killed 2 immediately. So what's most likely is that 2 are going to rotate up, and then 1 is either going to anchor B by sitting on B, going to go towards monster, or is going to be pushed into short and is just going to sit short. So if we all go con together right here, we have a 5v1 on towards B. But low communication game. We have 3 towards long. It's unlikely that you would be able to communicate that and get everybody down through con in an efficient manner. So maybe just going A here as a team is better because the comms aren't good and people... Nice. So like what we looked at in that clip that you submitted for the demo... Sorry, for the member stream. Again, you're just swinging this angle too close to it. So as you swing this angle, because you're so close, you're exposing your shoulder early, and they can see your shoulder without you being able to see them. So you're just giving them that slight advantage of them knowing that you're peeking before you can know where they are. So we see that guy dice. He should trade that. Okay, good. I honestly would have liked you to sit dice or stay there and hold this guy dice. It's a nice entry, but we see the gun, right? So if you plant in bath, you know you're expecting a fight here, and you have the crosshair placement ready for it, and you can take that fight no problem. Okay. This game, I would say, the way you're engaging in fights and sprays feels a little more panicky than the last one. The last one, it felt much more stable, and your sprays seemed a lot more comfortable. But in this one, it seems like you're kind of tapping or bursting and not pulling down as much as you were in the last one. So you missed the timing here. So we come out mid. if we want to throw this nade, it's got to come out fast, right? Because they can peek us very quickly. So as you're coming through here, okay, nade out right now. But now as you stand here with nade out, now you're vulnerable, right? They could be peeking this and fighting. So at this point, I would just put your nade away, put your gun out, or you can flash. A good flash is just above playground, just high above playground into this tree, and that'll blind these guys, and these guys won't be blind to your teammates. Okay, let's get going. Your swing. Okay. So when I hear pistols out, right, I know that I'm going to be taking some fast fights. The opponent is going to be fast. They're going to be moving around a lot. And so when you expect that, that's when you have to realize I can't like full commit and panic into sprays, right? Because if you whiff and they're moving fast, it's really hard to readjust your spray to be accurate. So stay on your feet. Don't crouch into sprays unless you're like spraying down 3-4 guys at once. Stay on your feet, hit these bursts. So you see this guy, right? Okay, now you know you have a fight. You're going to counter swing him, which I like, but he counter swings you. But then you crouch and just immediately start spraying. So stay on your feet, burst, move, burst, right? Move, burst. And as if you crouch, it makes these deagle shots much easier for them to hit as well. So this guy has an easy shot on you because you're crouched spraying into this. So when you hear pistols, try to hit that switch in your brain. I can't commit to fights as much as I'd want to. I should stay on my feet, burst, hit them, slow them down with my bullets if I hit body shots on them, and just finish them off with bursts, right? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Molly smoke flash. I love that you full buy Util every round, Winnie. It's excellent. Smoke towards front bath. Very nice. So it feels like we're not fully ready for this peak. You're swinging your mouse across when this is like one of those peaks that you just want to be fully through the wall. All right, so we smoke front bath, and again, we're really tight on this angle. So if we're really tight on an angle, we want to swing it hard and fast and have that crosshair placement so ready that we swing out and we're just, it's right on them, right? We're curious about front bath, but then when we peek this, we do that clearing thing where we clear around the corner. But when you do this, you're exposing yourself to so much space that nobody has the reaction time to react to this guy as you're clearing the space with your crosshair, right? So you have to just assume that they're going to be on the edge of the smoke towards divider and peek it hard with your crosshair through the wall towards them. Molly towards con. We hear one con, gun out.
Laying down smoke.
I think what would really help you is drilling in the 3 burst spray. The boom, boom, boom. Drag down, the very light drag down. I think that'll make you much more comfortable staying on your feet and not committing to sprays. Because your sprays are really solid. When you commit to them, they're really good. But then when you're in these like kind of bursty situations, you're shooting 2 or 3, but not quite dragging down enough for it. And I'll show you what I mean after. Rush. Flash over, nice. Default smoke. Send this last flash. I like the speed. That's an excellent... I really like the speed there. Just take that space, you know? He's likely reloading or trying to get some util out now that he's not fighting. That was excellent. I think after you throw this util back here, immediately pull your flash out and send it over this right side. So then you can help your team with anybody who's fighting from water or from pillar. Alright, planting the smoke quick. Okay, default, good too. Now we're in a 3v3 post plant. Flash towards heaven. Nice. Maybe another. So again, right, where's the next most likely spot that I'm going to take this fight? And it's very likely you're going to have to take a fight heaven. Your friend is monster. Your other friend is what? Up CT? But we don't know about heaven. And so your two areas of concern right now are short and heaven. Those are the only two spots you have to worry about. So you can stay default and just hold short and protect yourself from heaven. Right? Or you can send another flash up into heaven and then try to cross over into short so then you can hold short. And let the CT guy slowly push up here and then flank these heaven guys. Or even here, when you swing out here and you don't get a fight at all, you can even double up with number 8 and you can go towards CT. Right? But then crossing back and exposing to heaven is spooky. Oh, you want the A1. Okay. Didn't win the round. Must have been close. But honestly, I like how you're playing. You're definitely playing a supporting role, but it's a pretty high impact supporting role where you're throwing like the early util that needs to be thrown. You're throwing this front bath smoke, which is excellent. You're throwing default smokes on B, which is excellent. You're not taking too many like super early fight. Like you're not going for crazy aggro plays, but you are like taking space, which I think the way like your play style is really good. And I think it'll be even better once you really hone in on your peaking. You're playing like a very high impact play style, I feel. Where you're throwing the util that needs to be thrown, you're taking space. Nice. And for 100 hours in, you know, comp and premiere, like it's very impressive that you're playing a style where you can have a lot of impact. I feel like a lot of people, when they don't have a ton of hours in those kind of in the competitive side of things, they struggle to put themselves in positions where they can have impact. But you're doing an excellent job. So we're gonna walk up divider. We haven't cleared long bath yet, so we have to be worried about it. But Zero can clear it here. No, he doesn't. Ah, there it is. All right, now we got to go back. Well, you can look for this pick on A and then run back through long. But I would say, you know, this guy dies and drops bomb because nobody's communicating. We got to be constantly looking at minimap, right? And so you're here, Buddy's here. Okay, now we got to realize, let's just go take this 2v1 fast, right? Don't let them push up long and make it a 2v2. Just don't give the CTs opportunities, like too much time to make the situation more difficult for us. We just have to go right now and get this bomb back and trade this out or kill this guy. But that's an excellent kill. Oh, and then he solo pushes him. Oh, is this the one where you watched on stream? I think it is. And so nice. I like that. I'll commentate on it again. I like that you go through long. Huge. The A1S is fully silent for some reason. So you know last words A, so you're just gonna book it B. Smart. I dig it. Close Condor. That's one just random quirky thing about Overpass is if Condor's open, or if you open it to go into B, just close it again. Close the door behind you. That way, while you're on B, you can hear them open it. And then you know that they're short, right? But if it stays open, then they can come down con, come into short, and be silent all the way. So if you close it behind you, you'll get the info that they're going short, which it looks like he is. So I like the reposition. I remember we talked about on stream, the reposition after you reload. It's good. And then just the hard swing. He's not playing around. He's not playing around. He just swings that. I love it, dude. That was really well played. And like I said on stream, the anticipation of, you know, killing this guy out long, killing this guy, and then instantly being ready for this fight, that is, like, for, you know, having 100 hours in Premiere, competitive, whatever, like, that is excellent, insane anticipation for that amount of hours. So that was great. All right, last round of T-Side. Smoke default, send a flash over. We got mollied off. Again, have your gun out. Be ready to trade this guy, just in case. If they swing con, you guys can turn and fight it together, right? You don't have to molly quite yet. But what you're worried about is this guy, somebody taking short from B. And as you get into higher elos, more and more, CTs are going to fight for short. They're going to contest this space. So you need to be swinging this with your gun out, ready to trade your buddy in case there is a guy short. That was a crosshair placement, made that fight really difficult, right? Crosshair placement was just too low, and then you had to flick up and around him, and it was made it trickier. So if we go slow-mo again. I know it's brutal watching a slow-mo. I wouldn't want to watch myself in slow-mo. Right? Because it's so low, we're aiming not at the chunkiest part of his body, his chest. Lots of times when I'm trading somebody out, I'll just aim at their chest and just go for the body because I have an inherent advantage of the CT having to flick onto me. My T probably already did damage to them. So I'm just going to go for the safest option, aim for the chest, maybe the head sometimes, but I'll go for the safest option and just pump them with bullets into the chest. Just trade it out easy, right? But because the placement is so low, now we're aiming at their legs and waist, which is much skinnier on their model, so you're making the shots much harder for you to hit. So we get this kill. Now we got to be ready for this fight towards water. That's the next most likely place I would think of. Maybe hiding barrels. We're going to smoke towards bridge. I don't mind. And just send the plant. Oh. Oh no. That's fine. Honestly, I wouldn't expect him to be in the smoke. And even he knifed you, but whatever. We traded him out instantly, and now it's a 2v1. So who gives a shit? Good plant. I like just sending the plant there, honestly. So, okay. I'm going to write down my notes, and then let's jump into a map, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, Winnie, so here are my notes. I'm not going to read them out loud to you here. I'll send them to you, but I'm going to jump into game now and illustrate my feedback and what I think you can do now that will immediately improve your game. All right, here we go. All right, so Util. I know it's a headache. I know you're aware of it. I know you need to do it, but you need to find them, bro. You need to, 100%. But the easy way to get used to it is just commit yourself 30 minutes. Jump into a map or any map and just get used to like these in-game situations that you do. Like you're coming up ramp, flash out. I hit my flash bind, right? I come up, I flash, turn, I'm ready, swinging gun out, ready for these fights. Okay, now what am I gonna do? Play pretend, right? Get used to using your nade binds in the situations that you're gonna use your nades. So I'm gonna hit my molly bind, I'm gonna molly sandbags, maybe I'll scale up, I'll hit my smoke bind, and I'll smoke right side sight, right? So just do it. It's the easiest thing you can do to improve the quickest. We saw how much it slowed you down, and you are a space taker. You like taking space. I can tell you're pretty aggressive, but scrolling through your nades oftentimes is slowing you down and preventing you from taking the fights that you would want to take, right? So do it, Winnie. And then the other issue we saw a lot was pulling out util before we have control of a certain area of a map. So we'd come up ramp and then we'd flash and then we'd have our mollies out over here, but they can still be close. They can be swinging. They could be up on crane. We're really vulnerable here, right? So we want to flash up, right? Take this space first, clear it out, make sure that we're not in trouble if we whip out a molly here, and then we can safely, now that we have the space, we can safely throw a molly towards sandbags and then hold it and be ready for this fight, right? So this util, we use util to take the space, gun out, then we have our gun out to control it and clear it. Now that we have control, now we can throw that auxiliary util for, you know, maintaining control of the space or clearing out parts of the space that we can't clear out with our gun. Then we use that. Gun out, holding, waiting. Okay, now we can scale up. Make sure nobody's top white. Prevent yourself from taking fights when you don't have your gun out, right? And now I talked about crosshair placement a lot in the demo review. And crosshair placement can be a tricky thing to work on. The best way to work on it, honestly, is to think about it constantly. You have to think about it every game that you play. I know it sounds like a chore, but force yourself constantly. Where's their head going to be? Where's the next likely fight, right? Where should my crosshair be if, for example, they're standing still? If I'm swinging this and it's silent, I'm going to be ready for a fight if they're standing still. If I hear somebody running across, my crosshair is going to be further away from the angle so that I'm ready for them to run across and I have time to react to that fight. So even when you're like moving through space, you're not necessarily expecting a fight, still do it. Where's the next most likely spot that they're going to be, and have your crosshair head level ready for it, right? It's just something that you have to drill into yourself over and over. And I still do it. It's something that you're constantly thinking about and working on, is your crosshair placement, because there's so many levels to it that you're never not going to be working on it. So think about it always. Every round, every fight, every engagement, think about where your crosshair should be. What can help if you want to practice it? I know you don't have a lot of time, so I think it might be better just to develop it within games, right? But if you do want to jump into a server and practice it, you know, just run around a server and, again, do that kind of make-believe stuff. Pretend like you're in situations that you would be in, right? You're scaling up ramp. Maybe you want to go quiet and you want to hold. You think your next fight's going to be elevator. So then practice your crosshair placement for elevator. Maybe let's pretend we hear one towards heaven. Okay, now my crosshair's up here. I don't want to expose myself to this yet, so I'm going to hold this. Okay, maybe he dropped. Boom, now I'm going to peek that, right? So play pretend, where should my crosshair be? And that'll help you develop that crosshair placement. Third action item, so the first was util, second crosshair placement, third is your peeking and your bursting. Now your sprays actually look really good. Your sprays look very solid. Where it kind of fell apart a little bit was with your bursts. So what you did a lot was that you would send these 2-3 shot bursts, but you wouldn't pull down. So then they would be kind of inaccurate and you'd move a lot during them. So it looked a little bit panicky, right? So my advice here is really hone in on that 4-5 bullet spray. And you can do this to jump into a workshop map and just spray into bodies. So when we get in here, I'm going to just spray over and over into bots' bodies with this slight drag down, right? You don't need to drag down much. It's just a very small drag down, and just really get used to this feeling of this one burst. And then you're going to have that burst as a weapon in your arsenal. So in certain fights where you want to be mobile, you want to be moving, you can move, counter-strafe burst, move, counter-strafe burst, move, counter-strafe burst, right? That's just another thing that you can use to win more fights, especially in that overpass game. Remember with that pistol round where they're on pistols, we know they're going to be fast, we know that we can't crouch and overcommit to fights. So this is going to be an effective tool that you can use in those kind of situations where you don't want to commit to fights, but you still want to be accurate and mobile. Now, the last thing I was thinking about that I feel like you could implement and you'll get a ton more kills is deliberate peeking, right? So often you would throw the smoke. I didn't buy a smoke, but you would throw the smoke towards front bath, right? So you don't have to worry about taking a fight here. Maybe you clear it a bit, make sure nobody's playing on the edges of the smoke. Okay, Where's the next most likely point of contact that I'm going to make? It's going to be divider. So now I have to think, how can I peek divider in an effective way that gives me an advantage in this fight? And you can get creative. You know, you can jump spot it like this and kind of see if anybody's there. If you don't want to do that, just swing hard, right? Swing far away from the angle, so then as you're coming out, you have that speed going for you. And pre-aim through the wall here. When you do these kind of, you know, clears like this, rounding a corner, yes, you're covering a lot of area, but if somebody's out in the middle of the open here, you don't have the time to react to it as you clear this way, right? So it's better to commit to what you think is most likely, which is divider, and then if somebody is not where you expect them to, you can just flick onto them. But when you clear rounding like this, then you're kind of forcing yourself to flick onto everybody, right? So overall, and to answer your question that you posed in the message you sent me, was how do I deal with when I don't know where people are, these situations where I'm not sure what to do, where to aim, etc. You have to commit. You have to commit to what you think is most likely. You have to think about the situation. Okay, what do I think the enemy is going to do? And I can tell you have good game sets. You understand the game well, especially for 100 hours in comp and Premiere. Like, it's mad impressive that you're playing the way you are. So commit, trust your brain, commit to what you think the enemy is going to do. And if they're doing something else, you'll adapt. It's fine. But doing these kind of plays where you curve around areas and you try to adapt for everything at once, those are going to get you killed because you're not really ready for anything, right? You have to flick onto everything here. So instead of that, focus on divider, peek. Okay, now maybe I can do a little jiggle, make sure they're not playing an off angle. Now, next one, con, boom, right? So deliberate peeks, swinging stuff hard, ready for those fights. Commit to what you think is likely. Trust your brain and do it, all right? Okay, Winnie, thank you so much for buying one of these, bro. I really appreciate you. I hope this was helpful. And feel free to message me anytime. Any questions you want, send me a clip. I can give you whatever, bro. You're the best. Have a good day, man. Appreciate you.